Hi everyone, I'm Jason. Next month, February 2025, I will have 4 years of sobriety under my belt. What I want to do is share a video, talk about my history, what I went through, and the biggest thing I want to do is give hope to others that are looking to quit. Chances are, if you're watching this video, you're searching, and I want to give some advice. I want to give some tough love, some things you probably don't want to hear, but I wish I would have heard. I relapsed after 500 and some days of sobriety, and it took me, over 3 years to get back to where I started not drinking again. So yeah, basically that's what I want to do. First off, I'm not a counselor. I'm not a psychologist. Although I do lead a small group for my church for recovery, I'm just giving you advice based on what I've learned going through online tools that my church has, for sharing, talking about different subjects around drinking, around triggers and things like that. But again, I'm not a counselor, but I have 4 years of experience of sobriety, and I know what it's like before and after. Some of you maybe recognize me from a drinking video I did 9 years ago already. It's crazy it was that long ago. But I was celebrating 100 days without drinking, and I felt like I was on top of the world. Things were really going well. But after 500 some days with no drinking, I did relapse. I was on a work trip. There's nothing real crazy and funny and cool about it. Just I was drinking near beer, which I shouldn't have been. I was hanging out in a bar, and they put a real beer in front of me. I could tell right away it was, and I just decided to drink it. And it took 3.5 years before I decided that I had enough again. So that is, that's what can happen after a relapse. So why did I stop drinking again? Well, I'm not getting any younger, and I was afraid of how long am I going to do this? I'm going to turn 49 this spring. My kids are 21, 16, and 14. I know who I don't want to be, and I know who I'd like to be, I guess. And binge drinking is absolutely not in alignment with my goals and what I want to be. I experienced sober life, and it's amazing. If you think it's good to work towards not drinking, it's better than that. It's bigger than that. It's something you will never understand until you get there. One thing that never stops amazing me is, as time goes on, I get more fulfilled. There's more clarity. There's more joy in life. If you can think back to when you were a little kid and you just had fun with your friends, you just had fun out doing things. As addicts, as we start using drinking, for some reason we think we need to augment life with that crap, whether it's alcohol or drugs. You don't need that. It's a poison, and it's sad that a lot of us get to that where we think we got to add beer for it to be truly a good time. What I do want to give is some tough love. So these are some things I came to understand, in sobriety, and it took me a while to understand, but you're not going to want to probably hear this, but number one, you're not special. One of the things addicts are great at doing is justifying their actions, justifying going out after work on Friday and drinking a bunch and then drinking more. We like to justify things, and we make it feel like it's okay that we do this, but you're not special. If you're working hard and you're earning a good living for your family, guess what? You're just a man. That's what you do. You don't need some extra treat. I'm sorry, but you're not special. Stop thinking that you need to justify. I remember telling a counselor that basically that exact thing, that I don't want to give that up. And I think that's another thing as addicts, we can't, there's things in our lives that we can't control, and one thing we can control is getting drunk, maybe using to feel the effects of drugs. That's the sad reality of it. Your kids, your wife, your friends, your coworkers, they all deserve the sober version of you. They absolutely deserve that. And one thing that seemed fleeting to me was time. I'm almost 50 years old. That just blows my mind. I remember when 30-year-olds were like antiques, ancient, old to me. Yeah, I'm going to say, at the risk of sounding old, I really don't care, but time flies. It just goes by fast. And I do not want to get to where I look back and have tons of regrets because I'm not being the best person I could be, mainly the best father, best husband. There's so many things I want to do in this life. And I'll tell you what, binge drinking was never in alignment with those goals. And that kept me away from getting things I wanted in life. And I don't want to be controlled by this. My routine was binge drinking. Typically, I never drank every night. It was probably once or twice a week I would really give it hell. And I would drink 18 beers in an evening, sometimes more. A lot of times I'd go out with friends, maybe after work, have 6 beers, pick up an 18-pack on the way home, and there's a good chance I'll finish that by myself at 2 o'clock in the morning, and that's just a sad reality. But anyway, you're not special. Stop thinking you are. Just don't justify this crappy part of your life that you think you deserve. It takes my next piece of advice, or my next tough love, is it takes a bigger man or a person to admit that you need help. Especially as men, we think that we need to be tough and we need to grind it out. And man, I can tell you, it takes a bigger person to say, I need help. I'm not in control. I want to see a counselor. I need help. I need other people. And that's tough. That gets in the way of a man's ego, but that's reality. If you can be vulnerable, man, that's what men are made out of. Being vulnerable and admitting that I don't have this, I need help. The other thing is, alcohol or drugs are not the problem. It's you. You are the problem, not the alcohol or the drugs. Now, I get it. If you're a binge drinker and you're an alcoholic, obviously the alcohol has to go. But if you approach this problem thinking, I got to stop drinking and that's going to solve my problems, you're not going to succeed. You're the problem. Likely the abuse of alcohol and drugs are a symptom of other things. It's bigger than just that. You can't just decide, I'm going to not drink anymore. It has to be about what you can do in life and not what you can't do. You can't make your sole purpose is, I'm not going to drink, I'm not going to drink, I'm not going to drink. You have to focus on, I'm going to wake up sober Saturday morning and I'm going to do something with my kids. I'm going to be productive. I'm going to work towards goals. I'm going to enjoy that I feel good Saturday morning and I'm not hungover. I don't have the shame because I was up till 2 a.m. by myself, drinking in my recliner, watching YouTube. And I do that every weekend. That's a sad existence. This is a bigger problem than just than the substance. It is about you and some things that you need to address. More advice, don't compare yourself to other addicts, because there's always going to be someone else who is a bigger alcoholic. They do more drugs. They do it more often. You pick your rock bottom. You decide that enough is enough. If you feel guilty, if you're hiding your drinking, if you're thinking there might be something wrong, I might have a problem, chances are you do have a problem. You don't want life to choose your rock bottom. You can decide that I've had enough and I'm sick of being sick and tired. I want to stop. I want to do something better for my family, my wife, my kids, you name it. And lastly, like I said, I'm not a counselor. I relapsed, and that might be part of your journey. Sometimes it is. That's okay. It doesn't have to be. But I would say, if I was to give somebody advice, if they truly want to stop drinking, join a group. Join a group. Whether it's AA, a church recovery group, join a group of other like-minded people that you can relate to. That will be helpful. Somebody you can talk to, you can relate. The other thing is understand that things are going to have to change in your life. You have to change the people, places, and things. You can't continue to do the same stuff, hang out at the same places, hang out with the same people, or maybe you can hang out with those people, but they have to accept the new you. And that doesn't mean you're going to go to the bar and hang out with them while they drink. You don't, the bar is the last place you need to be. If they're your friends, they will continue to be your friends after this, and they might look up to you about it for the changes you're making in your life. Something that you'll find is as you are sober, you're going to start to pick out and find other people that are sober, and you're going to start to see other like celebrities that, oh, I didn't realize they don't drink. They're sober. It's out there. I think as addicts, we make up this big facade, and we think it's much bigger than what it really is. It's all in our head. This is a disease of the mind, so to speak. The other thing I would suggest you do is every day find at least 3 things you're grateful for. This is about focusing on what you can do now that you don't abuse and use and all that. This is about being there for your kids, having clarity, not being irritable, not being ashamed or having guilt because of what you did or what you didn't do. You got to focus on what you can do. Focus on what's good in your life, and join a group. Feel like I kind of went over the place with this, but I hope this helped you. By all means, get a hold of me. I'd be willing to talk to anyone if they want to talk through this. Send me a message, put a comment down below. If this helped you, hit the like, and the biggest thing you could do is subscribe. I know this is not my normal video. I do cooking videos, but this is a big part of me, so I wanted to share this milestone, I guess you could say, after 4 years. I feel amazing. I don't feel perfect, but I feel like, the sky's the limit now. I don't have to worry about that. I lead a small group for my church, and we talk about recovery. That's part of my healing, serving others. Anyway, thanks for watching, and please be safe, take care of yourself, and have hope. You need it. Life can be better, way better.